If you're Chinese and have an English name, chances are the name you have will depend very much on whether your family was already abroad when you were born or you're just fresh off the boat. If you're in the first camp, your name was probably chosen by your parents at birth. No one really knows why Chinese parents do this. In fact, numerous studies have been conducted on this topic. However, none of the researchers have been able to identify any statistically significant advantages later in life for those with English names. I have to say though, I found these results really surprising. Clearly, none of these researchers have experienced the social anxiety associated with having a Chinese-sounding name like Xia Qian when queuing at a Starbucks to order your next caffeine fix. Of the common English names for those born overseas, unsurprisingly, there are lots of overlap with the more general popular names, with only a few exceptions. For Chinese boys, three-letter names such as Bob, Tom, or Sam tend to be less popular. For Chinese girls, generally you don't see a lot of gender-neutral names such as Alex or Taylor. Regardless of the gender, however, names with the letter combination TH, like Phil or Elizabeth, are definite no-nos, as grandpa simply can't pronounce them. However, if like me, you're in the second camp, you have probably either picked your own name when you first started learning English, or when you moved overseas. To an outsider, the English names picked by this group of people may seem random at first, but really, there are only a few distinctive categories of names that conform to the Chinese naming tradition. Being named after a famous person. Usually these are boys' names to reflect their grand dreams and ambitions before they became a software engineer at Yahoo. They can be famous scientists before color photography was invented, famous politicians or military leaders, preferably before the Second World War, famous sports people, usually from the NBA, or whoever they just happen to admire. For boys, this is usually it when it comes to names. But if you're a girl, the world is your oyster. You can be named after luxury brands or items. You can be named after any white flower of your choice. Or you can be more adventurous and pick your favorite fruit. This also has the added benefit of being able to show off your personality and uniqueness by selecting the more exotic varieties. And for those who don't particularly like their Chinese names, but still want to embrace their Asian heritage, there's always the option of adopting another Asian country. Again, these are usually girls' names, mostly short, but sometimes they can get increasingly complicated. Some white people get confused by this, but they're usually too polite to ask, in fear of being labeled a racist. Then there are the kids who want to share the same name as their pets. Some of these names are actually real names in Chinese and can be quite nice, but you wouldn't want to be stuck with one for the rest of your life. Then there's the write down unfortunate. Usually, these are the names picked by the kids themselves when they first started learning English. You know, whatever cool words they happen to stumble upon at the time. If you ever meet anyone with such names, please be kind. Just imagine changing your name to the very first Reddit username you created at the age of 11 and being stuck with it for the rest of your life. As for my name, I picked it out of an English dictionary when I was 13. Little did I know at the time, it turned out to be a very popular name among the Chinese. So I guess we all had the same dictionary. Outside the Chinese community, however, it's not so common. So sometimes people give me confused looks when I introduce myself, to which I have to clarify with, like the temperature, not the underwear. As the old saying goes, Roses are red, violets are blue. There's always an Asian with a weirder name than you.